Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hello, hello. I'm good. I'm good.
Good, good. As we might have guessed, so Sarah's from the Little Media Agency. We're going to talk all about social media this lunchtime, aren't we, Sarah? And how we can make best use of that over the festive period.
Yes, that's right.
Brilliant. So I'll introduce you properly in a moment, Sarah. But just for our listeners, if you're listening to us today, please do engage and interact with us. If you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, we're broadcasting live on both those platforms. Please do put any comments or questions in the comments box below. If it's your first time being with us this lunchtime, then give us a like. If you've come back for more, and I know we've had Sarah here before, please give us a love and tell us where you're listening to us from. It'd be great to interact with you. And as I say, know whereabouts we're reaching to this lunchtime. If you're on the Zoom platform, there is a Q&A box. Please put any questions in there and we'll make sure that they're fed through and responded to as we go through. But Sarah, it's great to have you with us. I'll put your contact details on the screen there. How have things been since we last caught up? You been busy?
Yeah, pretty busy. So yeah, everything's been fine. Getting ready for Christmas now, which is just over 3 weeks away. Crazy how
I
this
know
year actually flies by.
it's crept up on all of us, hasn't it? And it's been a really strange year, 2020. I'm sure we'll all be keen to see the back of it and move into 2021. But I guess it's absolutely where we can make best use of social media, both in making sure we have a presence online. I think I read one number of years ago now, Sarah, that Christmas Day and Boxing Day is a real peak in terms of people going online and searching and sort of almost looking for returns and selling their stuff on eBay, I think. But certainly people tend to surf on social media over the Christmas period, don't they, when they're relaxed and not got other things to worry about. So it's how we can make sure we best use our social media presence in that time. So Sarah, I'd be just looking forward to hearing what you've got to share with us in terms of social media, which platforms to use, which, get the best traction, and some tips and tricks from yourself in how we can make sure that we're, ready in the right place to really take on 2021. It's been a really crippling year for many of us in terms of business and retail and hospitality. So what can we do and how can we get ahead of the game going forward, Sarah?
Shall I share my screen?
Absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
that'd be great. If you
Okay,
slides, that'd be
great.
brilliant.
Yeah, let me just.
Just while Sarah's doing that, just a reminder, if you've got any questions, put them in the Q&A box. If you're on Zoom, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, then just put them in the comments box below. Hopefully, Sarah, we get the technology working for us today.
Yeah, it's all working. It should be. Can you see my screen now?
We can indeed. That's great.
Great. So, as Steve mentioned, I run a social media agency, Little Media Agency, and we specialize in social media marketing, whether that's content creation, management of social media platforms, anything from Instagram to LinkedIn through Twitter and TikTok. But we also do social media training. So if you ever need any tips or extra pair of hands with your strategy, then give us a shout. And also we do social media advertising. So for example, Facebook advertising, Snapchat advertising, and so on. But again, if you ever have any questions, I'm just happy to help. So today we'll be talking about Christmas because Christmas is coming. So I'll share some tips. How can you make your strategy amazing this year? Because Christmas is in less than 4 weeks. So it's definitely time to start thinking about your content for the holiday period. And why is it important? Because actually, in terms of most businesses, the festive period is the most important in terms of their revenue. And a lot of businesses had very difficult year this year. So actually Christmas could be this a part of the year that could actually really help them. And it doesn't matter whether you retail or even hospitality or construction. Very often December is busy period for a lot of different businesses. So that's something to bear in mind. So I wouldn't ignore that period. I would try to make sure that your social media strategy is in place and you really thought through your content on all social media channels, because we definitely want to avoid posting for the sake of posting and actually creating content that is relevant to your target audience, that really grabs their attention, and obviously promotes your business, because on one hand we want to promote your business across holidays, but also that content will have probably impact on your January sales and in general 2021. So it's really, really important. So tip number 1, create that warm and fuzzy Christmas feeling. Again, Christmas is a perfect time to really show on your social media how much you care about your audience, what your company is about, and show them from this personal side. Especially, I think this year it's so important because everyone had such a crappy year. So actually, this is not only we're coming to 2021, which is start, new beginning, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, but also Christmas and holidays. It's a great period to actually share some love and share some positive stories. So again, in your social media, try to avoid anything negative, and try to focus on those positive stories. And also I would suggest, think of the campaign that could really on one hand show you in really positive way, but also help your audience. So again, it's more about the giving than taking. And I'm going to share a couple of examples of amazing.
Just on that point, so I think it's not really about selling your products or service, is it? It's about, take some of the biggest retailers. I'm not going to name names here, but some of the big ads we've seen over the Christmas period. It's not about, here's this for £9.99 or here's this knocked down by £100. It's about the sense of Christmas and being together and what the season's about. And if we can, and sometimes the humorous side of an organization as well, it's about showing that side rather than the hard sell. It's about the care and the giving, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Especially if, even whether it's even doing little things for your charity this year as a company, because again, I know obviously it's for small businesses might be difficult to actually share something and create a huge campaign like maybe big brands do, but at the same time it's all about the gesture, and even creating something that supporting your local charity can really go a long way, because at first you're helping others, and second time, although it may sound really bad, it looks good on social media, and social media, it's also the way you portray yourself, and again, it's supposed to be personal. So I'm going to share a couple of examples.
Brilliant.
I don't know if you ever heard of this. It's a campaign from 2014 by Air Canada. Have you heard of it?
I haven't. No, sorry, no, I haven't.
No, to be honest, it's, if you haven't watched the video, I cried for a good 15 minutes after I watched that advert. I'm not even exaggerating. So in 2014, Air Canada started holiday campaign towards end of November, that aimed to bring Canadians home for Christmas. So in the video that they posted on social media, they have 2 pilots that went to London as bar where usually it's occupied by Canadians, especially towards holiday time. And they sponsored the return tickets for everyone in the pub. So imagine the tears and the atmosphere. Wow. So to be honest, from the company's perspective, it probably didn't cost them huge amount of money considering that advertising. They probably sponsored maybe 20, 30 tickets. But on social media, it had huge impact, because not only they created that video and they shared everywhere on social media how they help people get home over Christmas time, but also all those people who received free tickets, then they shared content on their own social media. They tagged. It was amazing advertising, because they did the campaign. The whole purpose of the campaign is to bring people home, and I can't imagine any better present that a brand could give you than actually taking you to your family. So again, I'm already getting emotional when I think about it. Watch the video; it's absolutely fabulous. Another thing, I
guess it's like trying to create the end of a good film. And I watched A Christmas Chronicles last night on TV with my children, and the very end of that was about the best present those kids could give their mum was about being together and being nice to each other at Christmas. It's about creating that warm, fuzzy feeling, isn't it? And the end of a good film, we're trying to replicate in sort of a very short space of time, advertising, whether it's on social media, whether it's on the TV. That's what we're trying to do in our Christmas promotions, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, obviously, I'm sharing maybe campaigns of pretty big companies, but I think it's good way. It's a good thing to inspire us. How can, as a small business, we can create that fuzzy and warm feeling on our social media? Maybe it's about sharing positive stories. Maybe it's supporting charities. Maybe it's creating campaign of helping each other, whatever that is. And another campaign that definitely it's worth sharing, it's UPS campaign just a couple of years ago, where they were gathering people's wishes and then they try to deliver them. So for example, people like wish to see each other, for example, over Christmas, and they helped make those dreams come true. And again, it's probably won't be possible for every business to run something like this, but also think about that something, giving a little bit really goes a long way, because imagine how their social media exploded after this campaign. People were sharing it, people were promoting them automatically. They were posting about their wishes and how they were made come true. So again, every little thing goes definitely a long way. Are you familiar with this campaign?
This one I do know. It's one of the big retailers, the Man on the Moon. Yes.
Yes, yes. I mean, I think it's been like also a few years, and John Lewis is famous for their amazing adverts, and everyone always wait for John Lewis advert because, to be honest, they put loads of obviously money and effort to their every Christmas campaign.
The very fact that we can remember this, I remember this a few years on. I remember ones before this, Sarah. They're creating a story, not necessarily promoting a product, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, again, no one expects you to create huge production video for your social media campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's something to inspire us, because as what's interesting, they don't mention John Lewis until probably very end of the video.
Mm-hmm.
But their advertising, it's all about creating that warm feeling. And again, in this particular video, they in case people haven't seen it, it's about this older person on the moon who seems quite lonely, and the little girl sends him a telescope with balloons, like in the photo, to help to connect, and so he feels less lonely. And this advert in particular was to raise the awareness of the charity Age UK, to identify that and highlight the fact that a lot of people, older people especially over holiday period, can be lonely. So it's really important to actually think about them. So again, it's not about just promoting your product. It's also showcasing what your brand cares about and your company values. And also, like, again, sharing the story, not just, asking people to buy from you, but share something what your company is about and what you care about, and help others, because I think that's gonna go a long way.
Yes.
Another thing that's very simple to do, and definitely you won't need any production budget here. It's add a touch of Christmas to your branding, because again, Christmas is coming, and as you can see, streets are getting all light up with Christmas trees, and people are getting to Christmas spirit. So it's good to add touch of some Christmas to your branding. It's probably this one time of the year when it's okay to put like lights on your cover and profile photos, and and go a bit creative and crazy with your social media branding. And again, it's few examples that how others did it. So here is Starbucks cups. They created a limited edition of Christmas cups. And again, it was a great way to, first of all, promote their product, and also show this, show others that they're getting into Christmas spirit. The top company, it's chocolate company. So they changed their cover photo saying who needs mistletoe, when obviously you have those delicious chocolates. And they actually, in those chocolates, the special edition, they put little pieces of paper with the word kisses, which again showed it probably didn't cost them much to change that, but it showed how they got into Christmas spirit. And at the bottom you can see Amazon, and basically they changed their cover photo on Facebook, showing how people are opening presents for their received from Amazon. So again, it doesn't have to be much, but also throughout the year, it's important that your cover photo remains relevant.
Yes.
So again, sometimes whether it's Valentine's Day or Christmas, or whether it's you have special offer going on, or it's summer sale, it's good idea to make those little adjustments every now and then, because it will help you stand out on social media. But also one thing I would suggest, don't forget to take them down, because it does happen that sometimes, 15th of January, you can still see some Christmas branding on people's social media. So put yourself,
feel current, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. So put yourself, I know, date in calendar, like a reminder to take it all down. And if you're wondering when it's good to start, I think start of December, it's a very good time to change all your social media branding. It's time, Christmas is coming.
Indeed, no, brilliant point so far, Sarah. And it can be just a very simple thing. Perhaps putting a Christmas hat on. I remember Asda a few years ago, just putting a Christmas hat or a crown on the A. Just very simple things we can do with our our logos, our imagery, just to give it that Christmas feel. I guess the important thing, and you may well be familiar with this, Sarah. We had somebody talking to us a few days ago about making sure we don't have too many heavy plugins on our website that then slows it down. So it's getting the balance right, isn't it, in terms of our websites, our social media.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's about just little things, like a hat on your logo. It's a perfect example. Same with a lot of brands did that over Halloween. Actually, they were changing their O's in the logo into pumpkins, or they were changing their cover photos into orange, or putting some webs on their social media posts. So it's very much relevant.
I guess now more than ever, so with so many challenges in retail and every other sector, when we're hearing about it in the news today, it just demonstrates again to the consumer that's looking to place, to buy and to purchase, that you are still there, you are relevant, you're up to date, you're on it, and there's people behind the scenes willing to work and communicate and do business with you.
Yeah, definitely, and again, I know people get busy, but it's so important to update your social media on a regular basis, because especially in times like this, if you haven't posted anything since February 12th, people may think you're not trading anymore. So even like putting aside, half an hour a week just to update your social media channels will definitely make a difference. Another idea, especially this will be a bit more relevant to those who've got e-commerce businesses or retail businesses. Create a bespoke gift guide on your social media. So again, a lot of people are always asking, and in November and December, what shall I get my family? What shall I get my girlfriend? What shall I get my boyfriend? What shall I get my wife and husband and kids? And sometimes it's really hard. I always struggled with presents for my dad for some reason. We all been there. So another idea that one of the campaigns, it could be actually give people ideas what they could potentially get for their loved ones. So this is example, actually Zara did that a few years ago. I think they do it actually every year. They create this catalog on their Facebook page. So just in case you haven't heard, you can set up a Facebook shop and then have different catalogs on your Facebook shop. So for example, in this case, Zara has like a gift guide catalog, which should suggest that what sort of presents you could potentially get for your loved ones. And for example, you could categorize it. So for example, you could have a catalog on your Facebook for dads, or catalog Facebook for your children, and obviously depending what you're selling. And and then you could give this way people suggestions how they can buy your product, because maybe they didn't think about that. I don't know, scarf could be a good present for that, for example.
Yeah, and I guess we don't need to necessarily promote every single product we do, or we could just highlight one or two products. Given the time where we are now, we're just going into December. People may not have the time or the resources to create a huge catalog, but they could just highlight one or two, sort of, star presents or star gifts or products or services. But equally, I've seen organisations that have put sort of an e-magazine together that you can flick through online as well. So there are ways and means of doing it, even though time is ticking by. You don't have to put everything online. You don't have to put everything into a magazine, do you?
Exactly. And to be honest, if you had too many products, that could actually make it worse for the potential client, because if we have too much of a choice, it's even harder. So actually highlighting your best products, or maybe most appropriate as a gift, that could definitely help your audience. And at the end of the day, we're here to help them make good buying decisions.
Yes.
And here, actually, in case people haven't set up their Facebook shop, in case they don't know how to do it, here are a few instructions. It's very simple. You just need to go to Commerce Manager, and then you could create your shop page. And from there, you can create your collection of several products, depending exactly what you want to promote. Also, what's interesting, and if you haven't set up your Facebook shop, I would definitely suggest, because nowadays people will be able to actually buy directly from Instagram or Facebook. So again, it can help people make that buying decision a lot quicker. So in some cases, they may not even have to go all the way to your website, or they may not have to actually visit your shop. Because nowadays it will be so much easier and quicker for them. So actually, when you create your shop, you can decide whether you want direct people to the website, or do you want them to buy directly from Facebook or Instagram. Just bear in mind that it depends in which country you are, because in some countries this option isn't available yet.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Another thing, again, related to Facebook shop and the catalogs, it's Instagram shopping. Again, I would definitely encourage everyone who's got any products, especially if they have products and they have specific pricing, to set it up on Instagram. You can't do it without the Facebook shop. So you have to have Facebook shop before you do Instagram shopping. And you have to have your Facebook and Instagram linked. But it's a great way to promote your products, because also if you share photos of your products, it's really good for people to know straight away how much it costs. Like in this middle example, exactly what is it, and the same, you can tag your products also in stories. So for example, in this case, it's about necklace. The thing is, if we didn't have this tag, we would think maybe they're trying to sell a jacket or the white t-shirt. So it's just easier way for people to buy. So again,
am I right in thinking people can click on this and go straight to your website and buy it straight away, or does it keep you within Instagram or within Facebook?
It depends on the options you choose. So you can direct people to your website, to this exact spot on the website, or you can get them to buy directly from Facebook or Instagram. So whichever, to be honest, it's better for you, and whichever you choose. So yeah, I think it's very, very powerful tool. And again, social media wants you to stay on their pages as long as possible. So from their perspective, this tool will mean that people won't have to go to the website eventually, because they will be able to buy directly. And from user perspective, it's just easier, because we don't have to go from one tab to another and another just to find, let's say, Christmas gift. It's all there in front of you, let's say on Instagram. So that's definitely something to consider.
Brilliant. There's so many different ways of selling, aren't there? Once we get to grips with social media properly, it's just amazing how it's come on and changed over the last couple of years, Sarah. So Suki's just asking, I think I know the answer. Suki is just asking if Facebook and Instagram are the same or linked. Are they part of the same organization, Sarah? I think they are, aren't they?
Yes. So a few years ago, they were independent, but a few years ago, Facebook bought Instagram, and now it's
Right.
linked, so you can actually link them,
Brilliant.
which can save you some time
Hopefully that
because, sorry.
No, I was just saying, Suki, hopefully that answers your question.
And the good thing is about it, you can also schedule posts. So if it goes on Instagram, it goes directly to Facebook or vice versa. So in some cases, it can save you a lot of time.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Another thing that I would suggest, it's running competition or an offer. Again, we've just had on Friday, Black Friday. So I suppose you could imagine how many people had amazing offers going on. Carrie's website actually crashed on Friday night because so many people try to buy things. But it's not too late. I would also suggest that, again, it's a good idea to have more offers, because there's a lot of people who haven't even started their Christmas shopping. So
yes, yeah.
Any competition or offer can definitely go a long way. It could be competition promoting your social media channels, asking people to follow your pages. It could be competitions inviting people to your Facebook group. It could be competitions to get more reviews on your website. So it's a number of things you could do, but also it will definitely help with engagement and raise awareness of your business. In terms of just offers, I would probably stay away from the offers usually that are just 10%, because often when it's 10%, people don't even pay attention anymore, because 10% appears that it's so little. So I would suggest that you make less frequent offers, but more substantial ones.
Yeah. I guess it all comes down to the price of the product or service, doesn't it? If you're spending £1,000 and it's 10%, it's more significance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear what you're saying, Sarah, in terms of, you want your offer to be the very best and to be the most captivating to your audience. So less is more, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, it depends what you're selling. I mean, 10% or like the US BMW probably would be amazing. But yeah, in terms of small businesses, I would probably suggest that anything more than 30 works a lot better in terms of the engagement.
Yes, indeed. That's good to know.
Especially if you're running a hashtag or if you're running a campaign or competition, I would suggest that you come up with your special hashtags. But then if you do, make sure that that hashtag that promotes that particular campaign is absolutely everywhere. So not just on your social media, but whether you have billboards, leaflets, in your email, absolutely everywhere, because it takes time for people to actually get familiar with hashtags and remember them. So I would suggest that this is something you start very early and start very early introducing your hashtags, and you post it absolutely everywhere. And also encourage your audience to get involved and post hashtags, and whether you get involved in the competition or get involved with an offer, whatever that would be. And it would be a great way to promote your business.
It makes a lot of sense. The tricks are coming up with the right hashtag, isn't it? It's not easy. any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I would suggest that the hashtag is not too long. Perhaps 1 or 2 words, if it's possible. And again, I would avoid hashtags that just say the name of your company, because it's unlikely people will just type the name of your company as a hashtag. So again, it depends what's on offer and what's exactly the campaign. But I would suggest that you have some brainstorming and also ask a few other people what they think, which hashtags is the most catchy. And again,
that
it's
leads
important.
us on to your next point here on the screen, I guess.
Yes, exactly. So again, if you're running a campaign, anything it would be, I would always suggest that you involve your team. So for example, if you, I don't know, there's even little things you could do to create that warm, fuzzy feeling or to promote your campaign. So for example, I don't know, some companies do jumper Fridays, Christmas jumper Fridays, or they do something like they wear, for example, pink because of to promote a charity. But it's really good way to involve the team in something positive, um, and also have some fun actually going towards. Obviously this year it's more challenging in terms of the team spirit, because we can't go to parties and we can't go for dinners, and it's all a bit, and a lot of people are working from home, but there is still ways how you can involve your team. So for example, here just a couple of examples of stories and reels. So although you can't maybe meet face to face, but maybe you can encourage your team to share some stories from while they're working, or some funny videos of them dancing to some Christmas music, and maybe have some, maybe even internal competition, because again, it's very hard to continue that Christmas spirit while you're working from home on your own. But it's maybe thanks to social media, it's still possible.
Yeah, I guess it's coming up with that unique content again, isn't it? So it's something that just captures the imagination.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe ask your team what are their ideas. Maybe they have some ideas how they can get involved as well. TikTok is getting more and more popular, so a lot of people are already using the platform with, like, internally, just to raise this Christmas spirit. So that's definitely an idea. And even if you're running external competition, it's always good to encourage your team to spread the word as well, and share your campaigns on social media, because that will give you even further reach.
Mm-hmm. And which of the if you're doing stories and reels, so which platforms? I guess obviously Instagram works well. In terms of other platforms,
so
is anything you go to?
The stories are getting more and more popular. So actually, we have stories now on Instagram, we have stories on Snapchat, we have stories on Facebook, we have stories on Twitter, and we have stories on LinkedIn. So you could create
any platform.
So you can create a story, you can send it everywhere. And the Reels, it's basically practically an equivalent of TikTok. So also a lot of people do, they create TikTok video and then they just post it on Instagram as a reel, which is basically a video of yourself with the music. So some people are dancing, some people are doing funny impressions, but it could be a fun way for your business.
Yes, indeed. Brilliant.
Another thing that I would also suggest is involving your audience. So it's really important not to treat the social media as this just publishing platform, this broadcasting platform where you talk at your audience, but actually trying to involve them and increase engagement this way. So for example, maybe asking, obviously depends what's your product or your service, but encouraging people to share photos of your products after they bought it, share their reviews, get involved in the competitions, spread the word in any way, because again, it's great if that conversation on social media goes both ways and not just you're talking at them. And why is it so important? So for example, first of all, a lot of businesses struggle with coming up with content for social media because we don't have time, because it's expensive, or well, usually because we don't have time to create content for social media. So why not ask your audience to give you content? There are various reasons why it's a great idea. First of all, because actually we call it user generated content. So content from your audience actually performs a lot better than if you were to create something. And actually it creates better trust, but also even practically it gives you more content for social media. It means you can spend less time on creating content because your audience is actually giving it to you. And one of good actually examples of companies that use a lot of user-generated content is, for example, IKEA. They, on their Instagram, they have loads of photos from users who, let's say, bought something from IKEA, and they share photos of their new, let's say, bedroom. They send pictures to IKEA, or they tag IKEA directly. And this way IKEA doesn't have to take any photos, because everyone wants to boast about their new interior design ideas and share it on Instagram. And in return, they're getting extra publicity. So it's always a nice feeling when, let's say, IKEA thinks your photo is so good, they're going to share it on their social media. So this is another good way. So whatever is your business, think how you can involve your audience and get them to share some content with you. Especially, I think if people have products, then you can ask your customers whether they can, share photos of themselves with the product, and then send it to you. Maybe that could be also part of the competition, where the best photo wins XYZ.
Yes, and I think so. We've all looked at product reviews and service reviews, and either a testimony from somebody in person, or a product where you can see it in somebody's home or being used. I mean, I think we had a lunch and learn webinar a few months ago where somebody was saying, with Tosin, from doing videos, and he was saying, some of the most popular videos are unboxing videos, or haul videos, where people are showing what they've unpacking a product or a service, and images of that as well. We like to see the product or service in somebody's home rather than a stock image from the company. So I mean, I know I'm in that camp. When looking for products or service, I like to see what it actually looks like in the flesh in somebody's home.
Yeah, exactly. It shows your brand is more trustworthy as well, but and yeah, more authentic if it's taken from other people. And it's also a good way to actually raise the engagement on your social media. There's nothing better when actually people getting involved with your brand. So there's various reasons. So, and it's not easy, but I would really, especially in 2021, I would really think of trying to increase the user-generated content on your social media.
Absolutely, yes. And I think it's a great way to increase traffic on your social media platforms, isn't it? By having social media service user content on there.
Yeah, exactly. So another reason why user-generated content works, by statistics, 61% of people would engage more with the advert if it was user-generated content. So again, this is another example why it's important. And another thing I want to touch on. So a lot of some companies, they actually, over like Christmas or Thanksgiving, they actually decided to switch it all off, to encourage people to spend time with their families. And actually, one of my clients, when it was Thanksgiving a few days ago, they decided not to do any social media. They blocked their website, so people actually couldn't buy products. We didn't post anything on Thanksgiving, because we don't want people to browse on our website and buy products. We want people to spend time with their families. So perhaps this is something to consider on 25th of December. Maybe as brands, we should actually encourage people to spend time with their families and their loved ones, instead of going online and browsing through Twitter or on Instagram. So maybe sometimes it would be good to just give people this one day break when we don't post anything on 25th of December. But this is something to consider. Obviously, it depends what's your business. And probably it's crazy coming from a social media person, but sometimes it's nice to have a break.
I think also, so that ties in with whatever key messaging. If your key messaging all the way up to Christmas is about spending time together, then it would make absolute sense to switch your social media off on Christmas Day. So it's making sure that you're being in, you're living and breathing the ethos and the messaging that you're giving out prior to and after Christmas as well.
Yes, exactly. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to come across as this company that just sells. It's all about portraying yourself in a certain way. It's about sharing this fuzzy warm feeling. It's all about this fuzzy warm feeling coming up to Christmas.
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely. And have you got any questions?
I've been making a few comments from people as they've come along, so I haven't got any more questions at the moment. But I guess a question from me, just to round things up, really. People are maybe engaged in social media in a really heavy way, or maybe their first time, sort of picking up the mantle of social media, particularly if they've changed and pivoted the business over the last few months with lockdown and the crazy year that we've had. But if you were to sort of give 3 top tips are in terms of what people might want to do over Christmas, you know, or what not to do, should I say, what would those be?
Oh, it's hard to say. I would suggest that first, before you start any campaign, really think about who is your typical audience and what exactly they would like to see on social media. And also think about your company values and how you want to be perceived, and take that into account. Never post something just for the sake of posting it. Also, in terms of the most common mistake, well, first thing that comes to my mind is to make sure that all your Christmas branding goes down after Christmas. That a lot of companies may struggle to post actually after during the Christmas period, because obviously no one wants to be posting on Twitter on Christmas Eve. But another good tip would be potentially to actually schedule your post for that period. It's not about overwhelming people with the content, but perhaps it's good to still keep in touch, maybe posting things like Merry Christmas or Happy New Year, because often those posts can get good engagement.
Yes, and I'd refer any of our listeners, if you haven't been with our Lunch and Learn webinars before, go back to our YouTube channel. And Sarah and I did a great Lunch and Learn only a few months ago, looking at how to make best use of social media, thinking about our target audience. And there's a whole hour's worth of content there, Sarah, which we haven't covered today. But I think it is really about knowing who your audience is and not trying to do everything over Christmas, but perhaps pick the most appropriate channel to communicate with social media and do that well, rather than trying to spread yourself too thinly. But having said that, my advice, and Sarah, please chip in, is if you have got multiple channels, make sure they all reflect the same image and the same content. If you have got 2 or 3 social media channels, do keep them all looking and feeling the same.
Yeah, it's very important that it's all consistent, but also think about who is using which channel, because it might be the case you have a bit different audience on the Instagram, you might have a bit different audience on LinkedIn. So also make sure it's all relevant for everyone.
Absolutely relevant to the audience that that platform is being used by.
Exactly.
So it's been absolutely brilliant having you with us this lunchtime. I know we've got a number of listeners with us on Zoom, and I want to thank them for joining us as well. So if people want to have that conversation with you, we've got your contact details on the screen. I think you do sort of a free consultation of some kind, don't you? A free conversation just to have that initial, sort of discovery call, we call them here at Action Coach, where you can find a bit more about the service, they can find a bit more about you, and crucially, ensure that they keep their social media as best it can be over the Christmas period and maximize this opportunity.
Yes, that's right. If anyone has any further questions, something I didn't cover, then please free to drop me an email or give me a call.
And I think it's for all of us, it's not a question about whether we do social media, it's how well we can do it. And it's been great having you here, Sarah, just to help us all, not just get into the Christmas spirit, but also make sure that we maximize this opportunity for every single one of our businesses. Lockdown's been really tough over the last 4 weeks. We've now got a couple of weeks, sort of 2.5, 3 weeks before Christmas itself. And we want to maximize that opportunity and also make sure we're in the best possible place going into 2021, that we can kick this rubbish year we've all had into the long grass, and we can absolutely, get ourselves in the right mindset and maximize, every channel of communication as we go into the new year. And so it'd be great to have you back in the new year to talk about, sort of 2021 and what we can be doing as we head into a new financial year and a new calendar year. So it'd be good to have you back in January to talk about the trends and what's what is going on in the social media world in 2021. But it's for now, it's been great having you with us on our Lunch and Learn. And if you are listening to this in delay, in terms of perhaps picking later on today or over the week, then please do reach out to either Sarah or myself, or make sure our contact details are in the Facebook and the LinkedIn links, and also on our social media channel on YouTube, so that if you are listening to it later on, please do reach out to us, please do contact us. And if you have any questions for Sarah, I know that she will be back in touch. I've known Sarah for a long time, we've been working together on various projects, and can't recommend her highly enough. Equally, if you feel that you need a bit more of an in-depth conversation about other aspects of your business, we would love to hear from you here at Action Coach. Everything from finances to marketing to destination to team building, we'd love to have that conversation with you and see how we can help you and your business be in the very best place going into 2021. Gosh, it seems a long time away, 2021, but it's only around the corner. So it's about
it's
making
only a
the
month
best.
away.
I know, it's about making the best opportunity of the month we have left of 2020 and really maximizing that opportunity, and social media is a great way to do it. So thank you, Sarah, for being with us this lunchtime. Really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you back in the new year. And to all our listeners, thank you so much for being with us, and have a great day. Make the most of this week. We're not going to get this week back again, so make the most of it. And we look forward to seeing you on Thursday when we're being joined by another of my colleagues, Kaneo, and we're looking at how we can make robots, best use of robots in our business to systemize our business, and really particularly focusing on the financial aspects of our business. How can we streamline our finances? So it's Kaneo with us on Thursday at 12 o'clock, looking all about robots in business. But for now, Sarah, thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody, and we will see you very soon.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.